everyone. Selamat datang, selamat siang. Thank you so much for coming to our virtual open house. I'm Rebecca Seelan, Operations Manager at Gamelan Sekar Jaya, and I'd like to take you on a tour of our Banjar. This is our community center on Shattuck Avenue in Berkeley. Times the Banjar is where our 4 distinct musical ensembles rehearse, and also our dance troupe. It's also where our artists and residents live on their residencies. I'd like to take you on a tour of the backyard. If it wasn't COVID, we could all be here sipping coffee and having some Indonesian food, but we're having you virtually this year. Okay, so you've probably been waiting to see what's inside. This is our rehearsal room, where we usually have rehearsals for the Gamelan Gongkebiar and the Gamelan Angklung. And our dancers also rehearse in here. As you can see, it's now an order fulfillment center for our holiday fair. Let's go see the Jegog ensemble. Here you can see some more instruments. This is our giant bamboo Jegog ensemble from West Bali. This is our second rehearsal room, and this room is just for the Jegog to rehearse. Sadly, we haven't been able to rehearse since March, but I'm so glad that you've come and joined us for this virtual open house, where you'll see more messages from Gamelan Sekar Jaya musicians and dancers, and also some videos made during the pandemic. We'll have a young people's hour, and also music and dance for you to enjoy, so stay tuned.
Selamat datang.
Selamat datang.
Selamat datang.
Selamat datang.
Selamat datang. That is how you say welcome in Indonesian. Indonesia is a country where 267 million people live. Indonesia is in Asia. Asia is the largest continent. Indonesia is in the southeast part of Asia, near Singapore, the Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia, Brunei, Laos, Myanmar, and Malaysia. This area of Asia is called Southeast Asia. Here is a map of Indonesia. What do you notice about it? It is made up of islands. A group of islands like this is called an archipelago. Can you say the word archipelago? There are over 17,000 islands in the Indonesian archipelago, and they spread right along the equator. What do you know about places that are on the equator? Do you think it is cold or hot in Indonesia? Do you think it is usually wet or dry? Do you think there are many kinds of plants and animals, or not so many? Indonesia is a tropical country that has deep forests and warm ocean waters. It is warm and humid for most of the year. There are many plants and animals that live in Indonesia, like orangutans, Komodo dragons, and many kinds of sea turtles. The capital of Indonesia is Jakarta. But over Indonesia's long archipelago, many different cultures and languages have flourished. It is the largest Muslim country in the world, but there are many people who are Hindu, Buddhist, and Christian. Here are some photos of Indonesian people. As you look at them, notice their faces. Notice what they're doing. Does it seem similar to what you do or different? What are they wearing? Do you think it has special meaning to them? Do you have clothes that have special meaning to you? Do you know someone who is about the same age as the people in the pictures? The last thing we're going to talk about is food, because food is important to everyone. Do you have a favorite food? Most Indonesian people love rice. This is a rice field where rice grows. Many kinds of Indonesian food are spicy or sometimes sweet. Do you like spicy food? How about sweet foods? Indonesia is a big, beautiful country with many different cultures, languages, foods, and religions. Thank you for visiting Indonesia with us today. Until we meet again.
Sampai jumpa.
Sampai jumpa.
Sampai jumpa.
Sampai jumpa.
Sampai jumpa. Hi, my name is Emiko, and today we're going to be learning about Balinese music. One of the coolest things about Balinese gamelan is the use of interlocking rhythms. That means that there are many different musicians who are playing different rhythms, but they all fit together to create one complex and really amazing rhythm together. Today, we are going to learn some rhythms that you can do at home. We're going to use our bodies, and we're also going to use objects that you can just find around your house. Here we go. 3 of our musicians are going to help demonstrate.
My name is Are.
Hey, I'm Dewa Brata.
Hi, my name is Ayu.
The first rhythm we're going to learn is the gong and the beat keeper. The gong marks the beginning and end of every musical cycle. The beat keeper holds down the main beat so other musicians can create complex rhythms around it. Try clapping along with our musicians.
Eat. Tea.
The next rhythm we're going to learn is called polos. Can you say polos? Now, the musicians are going to do the polos rhythm. Try to clap it along with them.
Eat. Tea.
The third rhythm we're going to learn is called sangsi. Try to say the word sangsi. Now, try to clap along with our musicians as they do this rhythm.
Eat. Tea.
Now we're going to try those rhythms, but also using our voice.
Eat. Sil. Bong, bong, bong. 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 Sil. Bong. Tea. Bong. Sil. Eat. Sil. Ta, ta, bong. Ta, ta, 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 sil. 시작 실 it 실 계자 계자 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 실 계자 시작 실.
Now we're going to put all the rhythms together. We're going to start with the beat and the gong, and then we're going to add the polos, and then add the sangse. Now we're going to add in the polos part. You can continue to do the beat and the gong, or you can follow Pat Dewa and do the polos part. Now we're going to add in the sangse part. You can either do the gong and the beat, you can continue the polos, or you can try the sangse part. Good job! Now we're going to do something fun. We're going to look around and try to find objects that might make interesting sounds. If you're at home, make sure you ask your parents if it's okay for you to use the objects you found to make music. Don't use anything that's sharp, and don't use anything that's glass. Okay, now we're going to put together those rhythms, but we're going to use the objects that our musicians found just hanging around the house. And sometimes when we're playing music, we decide there are other rhythms that we want to play with. That's called improvisation. Great job! Thank you for making music with us today. It was really great to make interlocking patterns with you. Bye-bye!
My name is Ayu.
And I'm Emiko.
Do you like to dance?
What's your favorite kind of dance?
There are many kinds of dances from all over the world.
Today, we're going to learn about dance from Bali. Where do you think Bali is? Is it in Africa? Is it in Europe? Is it in the Americas? Bali is in Asia. This is Asia. This is Southeast Asia. And Bali is here in Indonesia. Indonesia is a country where 267 million people live. It has big rainforests, big cities, and people who speak many different languages. On the island of Bali, there are many different kinds of music and dance. We're going to show you a video of Balinese dance. As you're watching, look carefully at what the dancers are doing. Here is another video. As you watch this video, look at where the dancers are dancing. Balinese people dance in many different places, including temples, village centers, people's homes, and even big festivals. The music that you heard is called gamelan, and it is a very special kind of Balinese music. Now you're going to learn some movements that you can do at home.
Are you ready? Let's go!
Let's start by standing very tall with your back very straight. Turn your feet out. And let's practice lowering our body, keeping your knees open and your back straight. Now we're going to try another movement called agam. Good job! Now let's put those movements together and practice some dance. Good job, everyone. Thanks for dancing with us today.
Hi, I'm Cheyenne Dewi or Laputu Dewi, and yeah, for my presentation, I chose to bring in a holiday called Nyepi from my Balinese culture. Bali is one of the many small islands in Indonesia. It's situated in between two more known islands, Java and Lombok. I wanted to share about Nyepi because it's a very important holiday in Balinese culture, and I think that it represents Balinese people pretty well. Nyepi is the Balinese New Year. It's always held on the first new moon of March, and it goes on for 24 hours, so 6 a.m. one day to 6 a.m. the next. During Nyepi, everyone in Bali is expected to stay inside their homes. You're not supposed to eat or use electricity, and it's also known as the Day of Silence because most people just stay in their homes and pray. On the other hand, the day before Nyepi is a day full of noise. Um, every village has this big parade where each family or household showcases or like shows off their ogo-ogo. Ogo-ogos are these paper mache monsters. Um, yeah, they're very important because people can take up to like 6 months making them, so they're pretty big. And during the parade, people vote on which their favorite one is. Yeah. Um, so um, the parade's supposed to scare away bad spirits with loud noises and the ogo-ogos. In Bali, everyone celebrates Nyepi, whether you're Hindu or not. If you go outside during Nyepi, you'll be escorted back to your house by a pechalang. Pechalangs are special police officers that like patrol the streets to make sure everyone stays in their houses. I think that this represents the deep culture in Bali because it shows how spiritual they are. Balinese Hinduism is like a mix of traditional Hinduism and animism. So Balinese people treat everything with respect, even like objects and stuff. Their lives revolve around their beliefs in God, which changes the way like they act and the things they do. Nyepi is an example of how deeply religious Balinese people are, and how far they'll go like for their gods, right? Um, Nyepi isn't really that important to me. I guess it just hasn't been a big part of my life since my family's not that religious. But I admire the effort and I admire um, the holiday as a whole because, yeah. Um, ever since I was a toddler, actually, I've been taught about Balinese culture and different holidays like Nyepi and like dances and music and stuff that's used on those days, but I've never really felt like a strong connection towards it. In conclusion, learning about Nyepi helps me appreciate my Balinese culture. I wouldn't do this every year, but I would definitely plan on taking part in this holiday at least once during my life. Thank you.
Music is not structured where it starts in one place and just ends in a totally different place. It cycles around. And the gong marks the beginning and end of each melodic cycle. So we're going to go over to the melody instruments now. We're going to start with the jagogan, who are the two instruments in back, silakan. So you'll notice the instruments are partnered. The idea of partnership is really important. So you'll see all of the instruments actually are being introduced in pairs with one exception. So we're going to jublag now. So this kind of outlines a little bit more of what the melody is, but it's not really the full melody yet. So maybe we'll have Ugal join us. And over here, there are two more instruments that are playing a similar melody to this. They're holding the core melody. They're called pañacha. So these 6 instruments, along with the beatkeeper and gong, hold down the melody during all of the pieces you're going to see today. So if you're ever wondering where the melody is, you can look over here and you'll know what's going on. We have the flutes who are also ornamenting the basic core melody. You'll notice the flute players don't stop to take a breath. They're actually using circular breathing. So if you listen to them, their sound never stops. They're breathing in and out at the same time. So we're going to go over to the rayong instruments over here. They're also working in partners. There are 4 of them, and 1 and 3 are playing similar parts. Silakan. A partner. So this is the partner part that interlocks with that. And then when you put them together, this is what they sound like. So behind them, kind of tucked away in back, is a man by the name of Tom Deering. Tom Deering is playing cheng cheng. Could you show us what the cheng cheng sound like, Tom? They play pure percussion. So there's a lot of rhythmic stuff happening in gamelan. The cheng cheng really emphasize the pure rhythmic patterns. Thank you, Tom. So we're going over here now to the gangsa. These are metallophones, and those blue things underneath are actually resonators. They're made of bamboo, and the keys are made of bronze. We're going to start with the polos instruments. Silakan. And they have a complementary partner also, which are called the sangsih instruments. Silakan. So with the polos instruments, we can add them in and you can hear how they complement one another. Okay, so now we're coming to the drummers. The drum is a really important instrument. So you might have noticed, could you raise your hand if you play music? Do you play music? Raise your hand, really high. Okay, good. So in Western music, thank you. You guys are an amazing audience. So in Western music, we use written notation, right? We have pieces of paper that have notes written on it. In Balinese music, we don't use written notation. You learn it all by listening to your teacher and watching other musicians. So in performance, we don't have a conductor who's standing here with music either. The two drummers really function as kind of the conductors of the ensemble. They're also partnered, and we actually have a male and female drum, and the female drum actually has a deeper sound than the male. So we're going to start with the female drum, played by Ade. Silakan. Drum has a higher pitch sound. Pak Winda is playing the male drum. Silakan. And this is what they sound like when they're together. You'll hear they're interlocking with one another. Silakan. So now we're going to put them all together so you can hear them all as they come together. So maybe we'll add suling, and then rayong, and then cheng cheng, and then gangsa. And we'll do the drums last. Silakan. salsa section. Thank you. It's pretty cool. So one of the reasons we wanted to take the instruments apart like that for you is because we want to play a piece called Jagra Parvata, which is a really complicated piece. What you just heard is a fairly simple melody. It's the same melody all the way through. What you're going to hear now is a really much more complex composition, which was actually created by Pak Winda. So this is Jagra Parvata. Silakan.
Thank you.